In the last part, we saw Chu Qiao was encouraged to go to see Yu and Yue in the backyard of their courtyard. When Mei Xiang told her to go to the backyard, Chu Qiao started to laugh. As Mei Xiang stood up and said, "You are nothing but white and black all day. It looks like you are going to a funeral." As moonlight continued to shine, she walked along the path quietly as her mind wandered down the memory lane as well. The memories were like eagles as they flew across the portrait-like background with a beautiful lake as a setting. All other emotions blended together as it submerged itself to the bottom of her heart, turning into a puddle of water as it slowly frozen into ice. Enmity, restraint, resentment, entanglement, kindness, unity, life and death, reunion struggles, elation, farewells, and disconsolation. With every step she took, a new scene flashed across her mind, which was often too much for her to bear. It reminded her of family and domestic feuds, the personal feuds, the mistreatment, the disappointment, and her stubborn devotion, and the many years of suppression and tolerance that she had to endure. Many times it has caused her to feel overwhelmed. She had buried these emotions at the bottom of her heart for so long. However, this controversial song struck a chord with her, fishing these emotions out through her fingertips, lyric by lyric, 1 year, 2 years, many years at a time. Near the head of the mountains, a small pavilion was built atop a small pond. The wood used in its construction had been slightly damaged, but the boss had thoughtfully planted some Pollia japonica and wisteria flowers below the pavilion to preserve its aesthetic appeal. The flowers clung onto the wooden pillar and grew their way up slowly, adding an element of class and tranquility to the setting. The moonlight shone on the green pond. The crescent moon imprinted its reflection onto the water surface, appearing a pale white. Yue wore a purple outfit as he sat on the steps leading up the pavilion. He bent one leg as he straightened the other, leaning his back against the pillar. A few loose strands of hair stuck out from his hairline, resting against his forehead. He was still as handsome as ever as he held a green flute in his hand while playing his melodious tune. Without any resentment, devotion, and ambition being expressed through his music, it sounded like an ordinary young man playing a folk song in his repertoire, relaxed and soothing. The aroma of the flowers lingered playfully around his nose. Chu Qiao stood there quietly, not speaking a word. The wind blew across her green cloak as it fluttered in the air, appearing like a willow branch in the early morning. She had not seen him in this way before. Through the vicissitudes of many years, she had lamented her fate repeatedly. As she stood here presently, she started to appreciate the fact that she was much better off than the general in that heart-reading song. Her house had not collapsed, her family had not died. As for the person she loved, he stood right there in front of her, waiting to hold her hand whenever she decided to turn back. Despite being forcibly separated geographically and due to circumstance, he struggled along this difficult path step by step all the way up to this day with a sense of willingness and stubbornness which was few and far between in this world. He had managed to defy all expectation as he watched over her, helping her to navigate through the complexities of life. That layer of ice on the lake in her mind thawed in an instant. She seemingly heard the collapse of the rational we empire with a resounding thud, as she told herself, perhaps I can be willful for once too. After all, she had not been willful for many years. As the sounds of the fluid stopped, the man tilted his head to the side, looking at the woman dressed in green standing under the tree. In that instant, he was temporarily dazed. "Why are you here?" he asked. "Are you the only one that's allowed to come here?" Chu Qiao laughed as she kicked out at Yu's leg. "Get out of the way." She naturally sat down after the man. The white moonlight shone on her face, making it appear like a broken piece of jade that was still in a relatively good condition. "You and Yue, are you heading back to Ui once the bridge is repaired tomorrow?" Yuen Yue nodded and looked at her with a queer look on his face. "What's the matter?" "When are you going to find me then?" Chu Qiao asked. A tinge of surprise flashed across the man's eyes. Perplexed, he looked at her, seemingly trying to detect any ulterior motives she harbored. "Are you going to wait till the Wei Empire dies? Or when Yun Chen ascends the throne? At that time, would you be able to escape fully?" Chu Xiao quizzed as she bent her knees, sitting on the steps. She wore the hat on top of the cloak, covering up her fair neck. She leaned her chin on her knee, gazing towards the pond in front. Turning around, suddenly she remarked, "You and Yue, let me sing a song for you." The look in the woman's face was bright, a complete opposite to her old, easily depressed self. She looked at him quietly as she smiled, the reluctant sense in her dreams finally becoming a reality. Her eyes filtered out other background distractions and shadows, leaving him as the only thing in her line of sight. Thank you so much for watching. Stay with me, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified of the next part of the story. Thank you.